In a world of uncertainty, one man strives to find a job. Join us as we experience the struggle together.
Hi guys, I'm back with another episode of The Struggle. So today I wanted to get started with first a disclaimer. This series is not meant to be, oh, woe is me. I'm looking for a job. Somebody please help me. I'm not asking for anyone's help. If you want to give me a job, if it is a job I can do, I will take it. That is fine. But I do have some other episodes planned, even if I got a job tomorrow. There is a series I have planned where I talk about my struggle in finding a job, and I did not just start looking for a job yesterday either. I've been looking for a job for several months now, and in fact, a few years, really, off and on. Not straight, but I've been looking for a job for a while. So, the first thing that you need to have a job is a resume. So, let me see here. Oh, look, a resume that I've done in Google Docs. So you can see that I can use Google. And this is my resume. I've tried to fit as many things as possible in there. And there are lots of different things on my resume. I've got, experience. I mentioned this one before. Career group, that is the one that I do for conventions, stuff like that. There's also, I haven't mentioned this. For those of you who don't know, I do host a podcast called Inside Animation. I'll be recording an episode later today. I have the experience there. I don't really make any money off of that, but there's, experience, and I think it's important to have on there. The big thing is Space Command Studios. I'm an associate producer with them. Technically, that is a contract job. I'm not an employee of Space Command Studios, but I have all this stuff, and I put it into bullet points, so it's very easy to read and see. I also have my skills on the side here. These obviously are not all of my skills. This is just a representation. But I thought, these are more important qualities. I think these things especially are important to highlight, as not many people have those qualities. And I think, it'd be good to know. I'm also a notary public. I went to UC Davis. I have a bachelor's degree. My big office one is with my government job. That was from 2007 to 2016. Lots of I inspect and audited properties, prepared reports, managed data organization and analysis. There's a lot of my experience from Excel is from here. Including, doing all kinds of things. So I also won't show my contact info, but you can contact me through here if you want to. So all that said, I have a resume. It is, I think it looks good. I've had a friend who's done resumes look at it, and they say it's good. They've, tweaked it a bit for me. Before it just had like a narrative sort of thing of my experience, and they changed it to bullet points, which looks good. You can read it. So, that's my resume. So I have a resume. I don't have a CV, and cover letters are a new thing. Back in my day, we didn't have cover letters, so I've basically had to do those piecemeal. Sometimes referring to AI to write a cover letter for me. That's been interesting. I have been using AI to help me write stuff, especially. I even put my resume into the AI and ask it, what sort of jobs should I apply for that this resume would be good for? And they suggested certain jobs, and I've been applying to those jobs. Hasn't really helped, but I'll get into that later. But for now, what sort of jobs am I looking for, you might ask? Well, here's the deal. Here are my limitations. Back in 2021, I was in a car accident, and because of that, as a result of that accident, I have 2 bulging discs in my lower back. And because of those 2 bulging discs, I have gone through therapy. I have done the epidural thing to numb the pain, but so I don't have constant pain in my back. But if I am standing for a long period of time, even just 4 hours, my back will start to hurt, and it will start to hurt very badly. I have tested this. In that a friend, a couple years ago, a friend went on a limb, said, hey, I was desperate for a job at the time. Friend said, hey, I've got a dishwasher job for you at this restaurant. Come here at this time and wash dishes. I went through the onboarding. I went through the training. I went there. I did the job for 2 days. And on the second day, about 4 hours in, the first day was less intensive. The second day was more like actually doing the job. About 4 hours in, my pain got so bad I could not remain. Like, I almost passed out from the pain. So I can say definitively I cannot do any jobs that require standing for long periods of time. So that does limit the type of jobs I can go for. I can't work a security job that, requires standing. Now, if I'm security in a booth or like at a desk or something like that, that I can do. I can, if I have some sort of accommodation, if I have a chair, anything where I'm seated, that I can do all day for 8 hours, 12 hours, however long you need. So that is the type of job I am looking for. A desk job. A remote job from home would be fine. It doesn't have to be. I can commute. I'm fine with commuting. But it has to be a job where I am seated. I cannot bus tables. I cannot do dishes. I cannot, as much as it's not a lazy thing either. It's not, oh, I don't want to do that. No, I literally can't. I tried it. I did my best. And, my health has to come into consideration. I can't be passing out on the job from pain, because that's the only job I can get. I have to get a desk job. So that is what I am looking for. Any job where I'm at a desk. And unfortunately, like I mentioned in my previous video, I can't do IT, like super complicated coding, not in my wheelhouse. I wish I could. I probably, if I took the time or took a class, I could probably learn it, pick it up pretty well. Because, as mentioned in my qualities, I am a fast learner. In fact, I'm going to tell you a quick story about one of my jobs that isn't on my resume because it's much longer ago. I worked for an orchestra as their sort of stage manager, general manager sort of thing. I took on the job of running their ticketing for the concerts. And they worked with Ticketmaster at the time. And prior to me working for the orchestra, they had volunteers doing that same job. And those volunteers quit one by one because they could not figure out the Ticketmaster system. I sat down for 1 hour, maybe a couple hours. I played around with the system. I called Ticketmaster and said, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? So whatever I couldn't figure out on my own, I called and I asked for help. Or if there was, there's a manual, I would read that. But that's the thing, is I figured it out and I was an expert on the system within 2 hours. On the last thing on my resume, the tax credit committee, nowadays most people go through 6 months of training before they become officially an expert in the program. I did it in 1 month. I became, in 1 month of training, of onboarding, of reading through everything, of studying, I became an expert in a complicated IRS tax credit program, and became so knowledgeable that other coworkers were asking me about aspects of the program. So I am definitely a fast learner. Unfortunately, all I can put on a resume is fast learner, learns quickly. I can't say, I became an expert in a program within a month. That doesn't really translate to, I can say that if I were to get to an interview, but as of yet, I have not yet gotten an interview on anything that I've applied for. But we'll get to that in a later episode. So that's my resume. That's what my limitations are, and that's what I'm looking for. Now, certain job titles, I'll give you the job titles I'm looking for. That could include office assistant, data entry, office manager, crowdfunding manager, crowdfunding fulfillment manager. That I can do. Administrative assistant. What was another one I was looking at? That in that general range of things. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm doing, and I'll see you next time for another episode of The Struggle.